All right, we got Family Karma. This is season 2, episode 8. What's it called? Checklist, please. Supersized. So, Rashad and Rishka, they're doing all right. They're getting along. So that's a good thing because that means everything's hopeful for their future. Like, they don't have to break up for real, for real. They can eventually get back on track with the engagement thing, especially seeing Amrit, take his next step. They're like, what does Rashad need to do, Rishka? And she's like, how about he needs to just get an apartment? Like, I told him, when I come to visit you in Miami, I need to come to your house, to our house. How about that? And then when you come up here to Tennessee, you gonna come to mine. Like, you know what I'm saying? We need our own. And I don't think that's so hard. He talking about he had to save money and all this, and she was rolling her eyes just like I did. Like, come on now, boo. You save enough money, so you live with your parents for Christ's sake. So get with the program. Amrit and Nicholas, he said yes. Everybody's excited. So they're like, okay, next step, we're getting off this boat and we're going straight to lunch. I got everything set up. My parents are already there. And Rashad's like, so what if he would have said no? Where y'all was gonna go? He's like, I guess to the strip or to the bar, the gay bar. But of course he said yes. In the midst between, like before they actually get to the restaurant to meet the family, they called Nicholas' parents, and Nicholas said that, they're slowly but surely coming along, and they were pretty, they weren't upset about the engagement or nothing. They were happy and on board with it, which is fine. Like, he's from a small town in Michigan, he said, Schoolcraft. Schoolcraft is kind of close to Detroit, so... But I will say, because I'm from Michigan, there are some small towns where people they got like a small mind, we'll just say that. But hopefully his parents comes around, they go to the restaurant, they meet Armit, his whole family is there. Well, not whole family, but you got the mom, the dad, cousins, aunts, friends, and they're welcoming Nicholas. And basically everybody's happy and they cannot wait to move forward. The parents give Nicholas their little token because they do have a lot of traditions when it comes to the Indian culture, and one of them was to gift the partner with a piece of gold because it symbolizes having a golden life or something to that nature. And I thought that was kind of cool. So, like I said, congratulations on your engagement, and we're gonna get to the festivities. I think everything's already planned: the party, the reception. They gotta go get their clothes and outfits, and it's gonna be fun. I can't wait. Oh yeah, I forgot about Monica and her dad, Raj, because they sat down and had some ice cream, and they just kind of got into Raj and her mom's situation because they've been divorced for probably about 15 or so years. He stopped counting. And, they just don't talk. So he just feels like, look, everything just kind of worked out in the end. Like, we was working together 24/7. Then we had to go home together. So all that business and pleasure just got in the way. So we just couldn't work out. We got our divorce. And honestly, I went my way, she went her way. We didn't have to never really talk. I pick up the daughter, I drop off the daughter, and it was just easy like that. Like, I hung the horn. Like, it wasn't like that. I call her, send her out. Like, we didn't have to communicate. So he's saying, look, if I have to see her, it should be okay. Like, I'm not going to beat her up or nothing. She ain't going to beat me up. I ain't scared of her. Like, look, it is what it is. And Monica's like, yeah, I do want y'all to eventually come together because if me and Reese is going to be cool, like on another level, then eventually y'all gonna have to come together because as we know, they got so many traditions that involve so many parties and events, and both parents and families definitely have to be there. So he's like, yeah, ain't no sweat to that. Like, girl, I can be around your mama with no problem. You act like it's some craziness going on. But no, it ain't that bad, our relationship. It just doesn't exist. That's, what I'm saying? It just don't exist between them. So Brian and his mom talked at their house, and he ended up telling his Monica, like, look, I lost my job or whatnot for the COVID, and it is what it is. He couldn't hold the secret in much longer, and he busted it wide open, right? So we like, yeah, she was cool with it, but then like a couple weeks passed, and she started asking me these questions like, so what you doing today? What time did you wake up? Did you put any applications out? Like, did you read a book? I mean, come on, like, are you working with something? And he's starting to feel a little ways because he's like, dang, I just told you just so I ain't got no secret that's on my back. Plus, I know how, your family is with the money situation because she's a doctor. So, I only make decent money. I'm not a rich man. But in the end, what if I could be? Or, hell, just let me for me. And, so he's just trying to ask his mom for advice, basically. Like, so what should I do? Should I continue to date her, or should I just let her go? And the mom like, look, if she flipped out on you like that, then that just kind of mean that maybe she might not be the one for you. But if you want to keep talking to her, that's all on you. I can't necessarily tell you how to feel. Your heart is not inside mine or your brain. So, but like she said, look, but the only advice I could give you, is you need to be with somebody who can appreciate you for you, whether that's rich or poor, laid off, not laid off, and, family, not family. So if she can't get past it, then you have to get past her. Then we get to Lopa. She's at her condo that she done bought in Miami. And, thinking about painting it and things of that nature. And, of course, Rishka's there. And she asks her, like, well, she doesn't really ask her, but she just tells her mom, like, look, me and Vershaw, we decided to move forward. I told him to get an apartment for us. And, I don't want to rush into marriage, but I do want to at least take these next steps to see, what it could be in the future, because he still needs some work. But at least living together, as we all know, will kind of open our eyes a little bit more to the, the problems that they got going on, and if it's fixable or if it's not fixable. So Lopa's like, fine, go ahead, do what you want. I just don't want you to be like your sister. So we find out she has an older sister who done got married and done left the family, don't talk to them no more. She chose the husband over her family. And that's the way the mom feels. So she's like, if you want to be with Vishal, just make sure, right, don't leave me like your sister left me. And I just like, dang, they're talking about her as if she's dead, but she's not. They just don't speak. And, Rishka's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'll still choose. Like, I choose you over him. Like, I always picked you first over Vishal. But now, at this moment, I am going to push Vishal a little bit to the top so that we can work on our relationship. Then, of course, mom, you come next. But we have to kind of separate that part. But no, I'm not going nowhere type deal. And, of course, Lopa goes on to talk about Rishma, which is Vishal's mom, like, in Lopa's eyes, she's like, look, I tried to get along with the girl. She just neglected to invite me to some things, and she don't call me, and we just don't communicate. So I just, I wasn't feeling her like that. And when they did try to talk, she thought they was on the same page, but then here go, I guess, she's putting it on Rishma that she done opened up another can of worms. And it's like, girl, honestly, Rishma ain't stunting nobody either. She's just like, girl, I can leave you where you at. Your daughter, fine, but girl, stay over there and we can get along just fine. And that's what Lopa like, yeah, so I'm gonna just stay on my side. But I'm just a little hard. Dang, can they just get with that? Girl, no, calm your butt down, because you're basically putting all your anger against your husband, your bad things in life, your daughter, all on everybody else. So that's why you hard and tough, girl. Now we understand. Sorry. Who I got here? I got Anisha and Rashad and Armrit. So remember Armrit and Rashad trying to do their lingerie thing for the boys. So, Anisha got her little fashion thing. Her clothes have got picked up by a nice little label, and she's going to be selling some dresses and things from her own fashion label. So congratulations to her on that. And Armrit and Rashad, they need some help because they're just in the beginning stages, and they like, hey, she know fashion, she know fabric, they got a whole studio over there. Let's go and get some tips, and she can help us out. So they're in there filling out some things and some colors, and talking about relationships, of course. Rashad and Rishma, working on things like I'm about to buy an apartment. And of course, she said congratulations to Armrit on that, engagement thing. And of course, she's hopeful for her future. Like, yeah, I'm still going on my dates and stuff, and maybe something's gonna happen because I was supposed to be married 4 years ago, but hey, I'm here, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it. So then, they kind of flip to the moms. So I don't want to get this all the way wrong because I think they are at Brian's house. Lopa is at Brian's house for some drinks. And, she brings up the fact that Rishma has some issues with her. Well, or the issues that Lopa has with Rishma. So it has all to do with her either not talking to her or inviting her or not inviting her to some wedding or event in the past, which was a couple years ago. And Lopa just holding on to this grudge. She just cannot let it go. Like, she's a grudge holder. And we know how those people are, just a little difficult. And Citra, she's like, so who is this? Somebody else coming? You know what I'm saying? I'll see another spot. And she's like, yeah, Citra about to come through. And she's like, Citra now. So I already don't like Rishma. But my problem with Citra is she went back and told, basically told people about what I told her about Rishma. So basically she started mess. Like, if I tell you one thing, you're not supposed to go back and tell her to keep this beef going, because I'm trying to get the beef stopped. Like, their kids like each other. Their kids want to be married at some point. So how can us as moms keep beefing? So I'm trying to, Lopa, I guess she's trying to say, I'm trying to cool it, but you go ahead and open it back up. So what's up with that, girl? What's up with that? Yeah, so basically Citra, she walks into the room, and, after they get to talking, the small talk, about weight and all this stuff and what they don't want to eat and not want to eat. Lopa just kind of goes into it like, well, look, Citra, I was trying to fix whatever me and Rishma had going on, but then you turn around and you start talking about me, and I didn't like that. Like, if me and her gonna work on our stuff, then why don't you just stay out of it? And Citra like, look, I wasn't talking about you. I was just pretty much relaying messages. Like, I wasn't starting no mess. I didn't think it was gonna be that big of a deal. And Lopa, of course, is like, well, look, you just stay out of it. You stay on your side and let us figure this out. And Dharma and Citra is kind of just on the side because, they're all friends. But they're like, when it comes to Rishma, she honestly, every time they ask her, like, how do you feel about Lopa? How do you feel about Lopa? Is you and Lopa good? She always says, oh, yeah, I'm good. Me and her getting along right now. Or I like her. We fine. So I think Rishma is just trying to keep it cool for her son, because obviously the kids is, it's a thing. So Lopa's like, if your son and my daughter gonna be trying to be together and be married and stuff, why don't you talk to me or pick up the phone and invite me to these events or keep me involved? Why y'all just acting like I'm not here? I think that's her problem too. Like, she feeling like they not including me. I'm included. I'm the mom too, so include me. We don't gotta be friends, I guess. Let's just try to get along. And I guess they'll just try to figure it out. But Citra said, yeah, I'm gonna just stay out of it. Like, if that's what you want, then I'll stay out of it, for Christ's sakes, because I ain't got time to be having you mad at me for nothing. Because she really mad at nobody. Like she said, she just hold grudges. She just holding this grudge right now until she wanna let it go. So I don't know if I just don't want to forget to mention this, but basically Monica and Rishi go out on this date with the parents, Raj, and I can't remember her mom's name, but they have this little lunch or dinner out, and of course it was awkward at first because Monica just wasn't sure like how was her parents going to react to each other, and how was this gonna go, like was it gonna end in an argument, or was it just gonna be a good evening? And it turns out to be a great evening. The parents got along just fine. It wasn't really too awkward, more on Monica's side, I would say. The parents did just great. They told Monica, like, look, if you and Rishi want to continue this relationship, we welcome Rishi with open arms, and me and your father have no issues. We will do all the events together. We will dance together. We're going to have fun together. Because, like I said, we are cool with just being where we at. Like, he can stay over there. I can stay over here. Ain't no bad blood. And, of course, Monica was happy about that. And the parents on the side, they kind of just, came to a nice peaceful agreement, because this was their first time really talking and interacting like this in a while. And, they just say, look, we're cool. We're gonna, this is all for the children. They definitely agree with that. This is all for the kids, and all we need to do is get along. And if we can do that, hey, I'm down for it, and we're gonna enjoy our lives, and Monica will have a great life. And yeah, Roz was on board with that. And of course, Monica mom did apologize for any bad doing that she ever did with their relationship. And like Raj said, ain't no bad blood. We're good. It's for the children, so we can get along and get along and live along, and we'll have a great life. So basically, we end the show with Brian. His girlfriend Monica comes over to the house, and they just gotta have that conversation. He lost the job, and just he's feeling this pressure that he can't uphold to. It's just a little overwhelming for him. So he goes, they go outside to talk, and he's just trying to tell her, like, look, you have these high expectations of me, like you got this bar set up high, and you got this timeline that's just kind of moving, and I kind of want to get off the train. Like, I don't want to move that fast on this vehicle. Can we start on some type of some type of escalator, like let's slowly move our way up, because we only been dating for 6 months, and you already talking about moving to Tampa. You already talking about engagement. You already talking about marriage. And for me, he's like, dang, I want to do all these things, but for Christ's sake, can we just slow down? Because I live with my parents. I'm not rich compared to, I guess, the money that she's making, because she's a doctor. He's in IT tech world. I work based off of salary and accounts. If I move to Tampa, I have to start all over and get new accounts. And she's like, well, same here. If I move to Florida, I have to kind of find a new hospital and things of that nature. And, so I think on that side, he's not seeing that you both have to sacrifice. He doesn't want to sacrifice. I think he wants more of her, or at least if she comes there first, then maybe in the future he can go there. But at the meantime, South Florida, South Beach, Miami area is just where he needs to be at. And she's like, well, Tampa is just where I need to be at, just because it's too soon for me to leave, and I'm scared. I just don't know what the future holds. And he's like, yeah, so exactly for me, like my job, up and down, up and down. So can I trust you that you're going to be with me through the ups and the downs? Because at this moment, I feel like you're not going to be with me when it comes to the downs. And of course, she's like, yes, I have a high expectation. Like, I had this list of people, or a list of a guy that I wanted, that, all these things on his checklist. And yeah, you don't really check that box, which should let you know that that's how I love you. I appreciate you. And, I'm an alpha female, and I don't want no pushover. And, and he's like, look, this is just exhausting at this point, because I just want you to, can we agree to disagree that, look, I'm not ready to move nowhere. Let's keep it slow, and let's see where it goes. And she's like, you know, kind of crying and emotional about it because she's like, I'm not cool with just taking it slow and just, you know, because she kind of want like a stable guarantee type of thing. And for him, he's more of a winging it, you know, like let's just, you know, I got to just see where life takes me. I'm going with the flow here. And if it's going to work, then we're going to be together. But if it's not, then we got to break up. And it is what it is. So, Monica number 2, you know, Brian's girlfriend, Monica, I guess you got some thinking to do. And so does Brian. And I think at this point, like you said, he's firm in what he's saying. You either with it or you're not. And if you're not, then okay, we have to break up. So hey, that was the show, Shots of Sunset, Bravo TV. I will see y'all later, y'all, for the next one. Peace out. And yes, it was a little late, but hey, bear with me. It's gonna get there before the next one. Trust me.